I like how I started reviewing this, and then because because there was like the Sunday release and then early Friday release, I was just like, I'm just gonna do them both. I just I got lazy enough while justifying to just do both of them at the same time since it's new, and I might as well just get them both. I mean, the last chapter was pretty simple. I mean, I could easily sum up like essentially Iori, like there's hints that he's looking for some female phantom that allegedly can take away a person's powers because he wants to be normal, he just wants to have a normal life. And after that, like we find out that his own Yoki spirit, or sorry, phantom, can copy any of the phantoms that it's exercised. So it makes like a shadow duplicate of anything that it's defeated. And I actually like that because that was a similar power to what the main character in was it Hell Warden Higuma. I thought that was really cool. It was just a nice progress ability in general, and it was like, damn, that series got axed. It was bummed to see it go, but like now we have at least something similar in another series that I'm also liking. So at least that's a plus. So, I mean, like the last chapter, there wasn't a whole lot otherwise to talk about, whereas this chapter, luckily, has a lot more to really go over. Because we got introduced to who I would assume would be the rival character, somebody, the main character is like opposing individual, with personality and just position. Looks like this guy, on the other hand, whereas Iori doesn't want to be a shaman and only does because his sister kind of forces him to. But this guy likes doing it, and it seems to kind of have that idea of you are a shaman, so it's kind of your duty to do what you can to help others and exercise these phantoms. He's kind of like I imagine like a greater purpose kind of guy. Like we are chosen for this, so we should do what we can in order to get things done. At least that's what I can understand from this dude. But, I mean, he seems pretty cool so far. And I do definitely like his weapon. I think his weapon is really cool because you don't see a lot of, like, spears and stuff. I do always like it, like, their characters, like, especially in the primary cast, that have just abilities and tools and weapons that stand out. Just because it's, swords are badass. Swords probably my general favorite weapon of great swords, especially. But when you see, like, a character with, like, a badass axe or a hammer, or in this case a spear, or anything rather, it's just really cool to see. It has a mild amount of just kind of refreshing presence in there. But then like the chapter itself, like they're like, oh yeah, we're on a job. There was reporting of somebody being dragged into a mirror, and we get an explanation a little bit of exactly these mirror phantoms, and I like that because it gives a small amount of just general like information drop. It's telling us about the species as well as like how they act and how to fight against them. They're saying how they're very they're very vain. They have a lot of pride and a lot of kind of like vanity. So if you mess with these mirrors, they take it very insulting. I like the idea of it. It's like somebody who looks in the mirror a lot, really admires themselves. I can't remember that guy. Was it Ulysses? I had to go and look up. It's that kind of like that Greek god who fell in love with his own shadow. And it's sort of like that. You're just the idea of it with that reflection. It's like you love yourself, sort of a thing. But here the creatures in the mirror seem to be very insulted. If anything, imaginally like messes with their mirrors themselves as well as their world. They probably just take it really insulting to how they exist, rather. But like you have Iori go and mess with one of the mirrors, and like right when he's like, oh yeah, nothing happened, you have like this warped image of himself, like these fingers that come out and grab them and pull them into this mirror world. And I like how they're explaining exactly like how you fight against these guys. And because it's a mirror, when they can take appearances of the people, like I wonder if it's anybody they pull in or just anyone in general. I imagine it'd be like anybody that maybe like looks into their mirror specifically, or it pulls them in. Because if it was just anyone in general, it'd be too broken. Because they're like, oh, because Iori ends up slashing one that ended up taking on the image of Riku, and he's like, it's like, how did you know? And he knows not only would she never abandon the other dude Kenma, that there's everything about her is reflected. So like if you had like a watch on your right hand, it'd be on your left hand. If you brushed your hair to the left side, it'd be on the right side, or stuff like that. It would always be the complete opposite, because obviously you're looking at a mirror. It's flipped. And again, I like that a lot, because it's a very subtle kind of like thing to look for, but it's also something that's easily understood by anybody reading this, because everybody knows how mirrors work. So I just think that's really cool in general. And then we're finding this guy, this other dude Kenma, he's the obvious, like I said, rival to the main character. And well, at least as we know of. Maybe he's not going to be the full rival, but I think right now he's at least what I would assume going to be the rival. And then he also has one of those keys, which I imagine now is going to be like the I assume will be like the power kind of like tool of everybody in this world. Because I thought at first it was just going to be like, maybe that was going to be Iori's thing, but this Kenma dude has it as well, so I'm guessing all of these guys have their tools and spirits and whatnot, or sorry, phantoms, not spirits, all locked up, and you have to use these keys in order to like make these spatial like doorways in order for them to drop down and give you whatever it is you need to fight whatever opponent you have. Like these last two chapters have been really quick. Like I actually kind of like that, just because it's giving you a good amount of information of this world, but it's focused more on the characters rather than just kind of like trying to grind like information all over like the readers. Like with the mirror people, like these mirror phantoms, like I said, it's a very quick and easy explanation. They don't need to do a whole lot in order to kind of get you to get a grasp on the world, which is really important. And that's generally how a lot of series are at the beginning. They want you to, hey, these are the characters, this is what their powers are, this is the world and situation they're in, and this is kind of like the enemies that they're facing. And sometimes it can become a little bit too overwhelming if they put too much stuff just super early. I like this so far. I think the art is really good. I like the characters. The main character is very different, and I've really liked that since Chainsaw Man came out, there's been a lot of Weekly Shonen Jump series with just very strange main characters, like Andy, obviously Denji from Chainsaw Man. Iori's very different, the way that he's kind of like a selfish asshole a lot of the time, and he's only doing this in order to not do stuff. I like that a lot. I think it just stands out. I think that's cool. But I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It's definitely a series I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm always got the the sad belief that any of these series could not make it, because I don't know what the percentage is, but like it's usually like one or two maybe series that survive a year from serialization. I do wish that Shonen Jump would do more digital, like be able to put out more serialized stuff digitally, because I feel like they don't give stuff enough time to really build a world, because especially on a weekly basis they're going to be trying to establish like their own powers, their own ideas of the structures of this of whatever series they're in. I don't think 16 chapters usually usually being the amount before stuff kind of gets ended. I don't think that's enough. I don't know. Either way though, definitely fun. Like I said, pretty fast to read these last two chapters, and I like the characters so far. I think that the main two characters have some nice contrasting points, and I like this new guy. He's interesting. He's got that kind of very cold personality, yet still trying to do good thing. He reminds me of the character that reminds me of is Uryu Ishida from Bleach. And obviously when you have not the same series, but the idea of not Exorcist, but dealing with quote unquote spirits or like warped monsters from it. It doesn't have the same, it's not the same series, but it kind of gives me a little bit of the Bleach vibes. Plus, I mean, Uryu having a bow was also different, because he just had a completely different style of weapon and fighting than the main character. That's what I see from at least a little bit out of this dude Kenma. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to follow this series. I'm hoping it survives the axe, and people like it. But we'll see for now. But other than that, don't comment below. Thumbs up the video, but friend the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.